of the resolutions and the motions that resolutions and
The
the
legitimacy.
take care of, I think we need to look at that a little bit more
Ain't
closely.
nobody talking
It
about
was
them.
probably necessary when we weren't a full functioning board, and now we've got a stronger staff as well. So I think that needs to definitely be
Yeah,
looked
so
at
that
and
means they'll
addressed.
move faster
Great point. Thank you,
because they got a
Commissioner.
more robust staff.
Yes,
So
I just
y'all
want
gonna
to
move faster,
say
and
that
stuff
I agree
gonna get past the
100%
community.
with what Commissioner Johnson is saying now.
So that
I've been
means
on
that
many
they'll still
boards,
have the meetings.
and
I'm
I've
sorry, so what is
never
he
been
trying to
on
change?
one where advisors and consultants
Like
will come in
they're about
and
to,
vote as
like
in the
tonight,
same
they're gonna talk
capacity as a
about the
board member. So
giving that
I
money
think we
over to
really
the
need to
security
look at
camp.
that. And as
But they're gonna
Commissioner
ask
Johnson
them,
saying now that
what
now
is
that
this
we're fully
resolution for?
boarded
And
up
somebody's gonna
and have
say,
a full
well,
board and
we gave them
a
1 point
board
such
that
and
does
such
want to
million before,
participate,
we're only
really need to
asking
look
for an
at
extension of
changing that
550,000.
particular item.
That would
It's
have
just not
happened in the
fair to
committee
the
meeting.
board
And
members to
they
come
would
in
have
and
said, oh, this the consent
sacrifice what
agenda.
they're doing.
Anybody in
And we
favor,
have
anybody against the
advisors and
consent agenda?
consultants
You don't
come
know
in
what's
there
on it. You don't
and
even
really
know that thing is on it.
outvote
So
They're not going to say it
commissioners
out loud.
that are
And
there.
so none of the commissioners,
Outvote
even a
the
commissioner
power. So
that didn't
that's,
make
I
it to
would
that
give
committee
100%.
meeting or wasn't paying attention or might have forgot about it,
Thank you.
he's not going to remember, you know.
So they're basically saying we're going to remove the discussion aspect.
Yes,
We're just going to
from the
Well,
board, from the commissioner meeting. But they're going to do it in the,
Sorry, Commissioner Fisher,
in
go ahead.
the what you call it, the committee.
But the 2 million they're proposing is a brand new 2 million, right?
expedite the time. I
No,
think maybe,
the only part that was new was
They've
551,000.
already spent.
They already spent like
Didn't they already
1.7.
talk about this so we can move
Yeah,
on
that's-
they're all through
with
everybody.
the meeting of tonight.
They
Yeah,
did that
26 of them already.
62 and plus
That
29.
sounds good. Thank you.
Is this a
62 the
traffic
first
light
year,
monster?
29 more.
Or is this
I
like cameras
appreciate
just
you all,
all over?
No, this RRHA.
comments
So
and
request
thoughtfulness to
modification.
this.
Oh, so they've
They
already
put up
spent.
62 the first year. The second time, they must have asked for that 279,000 so they could put the 29 more cameras in 2021.
So I
Now
will
they're
turn
asking
things
for
over now to
it's
Mr.
like the
Nestor for
subscription
his
or something like that. They trying to get 550,000.
So how did they spend more money on less cameras? They only had 29 cameras at first, and they spent.
They had
1.4 million.
62.
The installation is 62. I thought it's a new camera.
Stephen, are you
That
ready
was
to give your
the
update?
initial contract was 62 cameras.
Oh,
The 1 point, what you call it, mil.
I don't think he can hear us.
Huh? They ain't talking to me. Oh.
I think his
Hold on.
mic
Matter of fact, I'm
looks
about
like
to
it's
bring
on,
up
but I don't
the.
think we
I'm
can't
gonna bring
hear
up the
him.
documents so
So-
people can see it when they.
He's muted.
Dang, where I put the documents at?
So like, would they still
Well, how
put
about
cameras up in Creighton even though they already know?
maybe
have
we
it
can
in-
go ahead and Miss Green, it looks like
I'm
you were
pretty.
Cameras.
able, or you're going to give.
They did it in
update while Mr.
2020,
Nestor is
so
working on his technical
the cameras
difficulties.
are already
You wanna go
up.
ahead
What
and
they're
do that
paying
update?
for right now is
Absolutely.
apparently the cost
Can
of
you
the
all hear me
subscription.
Oh yeah, so they're not adding any
Yes.
more new cameras.
Great.
Right, it's
Good evening,
additional
no,
commissioners,
that
staff,
was
and
what
guests.
they did in 2021.
As
This is
as it relates to lease enforcement, as of February 9th, there are approximately 1,846 families with an age receivables balance of $51 or more, which is a decrease from the month of
the subscription there, go to,
from the month of January of
subscription for the
184
software
families
maintenance.
and approximately
So it's not to add
$195,000.
any new cameras.
But the total age
3
receivable
year,
balance
2
is
year
approximately
options
still
for renewal.
$2.2
So it's
million.
like the renewal
An
of the
updated
subscription
lease
to
enforcement fact sheet
maintain
will
the
be
camera.
shared
So you're
from
not
the
adding any
communications team, which details a lot of this information and much more to give you a complete idea of what the lease enforcement efforts have looked like so far. But also for the month of January, there were a
They
total
kinda
of
awarded
25
POs
unlawful
to-
detainers that were filed.
That's good.
You all hear me now?
2 million on security cameras. That's technically
Yes.
spending 2 million on security cameras.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though they installed 29 new cameras. So they're really just trying to reduce.
Okay, so again, there were a total of 25
Yeah, it's
unlawful
not good
detainers
enough.
that were
Yeah,
filed.
yeah.
11 were granted judgment and possession. 2 of
Eviction.
those unlawful detainers, the court granted possession with damages date that is pending for the month of February or towards the end of February.
Yeah, but what
3
I
are pending a status hearing. 6 were non-suited because the family signed up for
Because
repayment
what
agreement
they're
or they
proposing
just
is $2 million
moved out of the
security cameras. They are
unit.
proposing to spend
And 3 were
$2 million.
dismissed because there was payment made in full. And so that concludes my lease enforcement updates. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Any questions for Ms. Green on lease enforcement?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So, Ms. Green, when we talk about $2 million in uncollected rents, do you have any idea of how many other housing authorities in the state are facing that kind of non-payment? How do we rank in that?
Any other housing authority that has this?
So I've had
Right,
conversations
you're
with
the
some of our
largest housing
large-
authority in
some
the
of the
state.
larger
Why would you
housing
even
authorities
think that
actually outside
anybody
of
has
Virginia.
the same
I'm still really
comparable?
close
You
with
got the
housing
poorest
authority
people
where I
in the
came
state,
from.
bruh.
And of
Come
course,
on
their
now.
housing authority is much larger, but they are seeing a larger age receivable
You better put
balance
that
than we
on.
do.
Do it, man,
And so
because
is
it can't be
not
just me and that
uncommon
bitch. You
with
know
the
what I'm saying?
size of the housing authority that we have. So, for example, the Akron Housing Authority, they have an age receivable balance of $90,000,
I think I
but
sent
they
you
only
the
have
wrong one,
500
didn't I?
units. So, they're, based on the size of the housing authorities, I would see that
bit.ly,
we are unfortunately in the
board.
same position when
It's
it comes to
bit.ly
collecting rent
.com,
from
bit.ly.
their tenants
bit.ly.com,
as we are.
RRHA
So
board, all
we're
lowercase.
in, unfortunately,
RRHA board
there's others that accompany us with the difficulties with
/
collecting rent.
RRHA board.
Okay, it just seems
Two
so
R's.
exorbitant, and I'm curious to know what. I know that you're doing it. I know that you guys are doing it as far as
He's a board. He's a commissioner.
/ RRHA.
I'm
Right.
just concerned that
Yeah.
you know how we are stacking up with other housing authority when it comes to lease enforcement
Right.
and rent collection. Because if anybody was to call us asking for a reference, we couldn't look at some of these
comparable.
larger
Comparable is
folks
the
that
same
we
word
have
comparable.
here
I'm trying to say
and
comparable.
say that we can give them a
RJ is the largest
credit
housing
score
authority in
or
the state, so
anything
of course
because of
not.
the situation they're in.
It's comparable.
And if we go to court and we get
Yeah, that's
have to
good.
take them out or
That's
pick
good.
somebody,
You got the
they're
poorest people
really
in the
going to be
state,
in
bro.
bad shape when it
Come on,
comes
like,
trying to get
You got the
another place to
largest,
go.
like,
So I'm
you were
really
the
concerned about
largest
that. It's
evictor
something we
in the
might
state,
have to
right?
focus in on and see
Damn, motherfuckers
how
got
we
me.
can do it better, how we can get that number down. $2 million.
I should put the camera on hold,
money
see
that's
people-
not being collected. So I just want to put that out there and then find out what we can do better.
One of the things, if I may, Commissioner Hardiman, one of the things we have discussed internally, because again, as we started lease enforcement, it was our main priority to be thoughtful and strategic. Because we knew that we were dealing with a large population of families, we are in the business of providing housing, so it's never our ideal for us to file for eviction or do unlawful detainers. So with that in mind, we really really slowly went into lease enforcement, meaning we only addressed 100 balances a month. And so because we're only addressing 100 balances a month, that means those families who weren't paying are still not paying. So it's causing those balances to go up because they don't see that lease termination notice or lease enforcement notice that's coming into their mail or
She
their
said
email.
that
What we talked
the
about
people
internally,
that are
because
not
what
paying
it
or
appears to
continue
be,
to not
when
pay
they
rent
get the
because
30
they're not getting the
enforcement notice, we've seen a larger number of families come in and do repayment agreements,
Okay.
or even make the payments in full, so that they're
So that means you need to
So
give them their
unfortunately,
notices,
we are going
right?
to have to change the number of families that we are working with per month from 100. We're actually going to move it up to 300, with the hopes that we can get more families to come in and talk to us about their circumstances, determine if there's any other resources that may be able to assist them, or go into a repayment agreement that will help them to become current in their on their account. That's how we're going to start to see that age receivable balance going down. We have to start working with more families, unfortunately, because us just sending out notices and trying to get them to come in now without any action is just not beneficial for us. It's a lot of effort, and we're not receiving any communication from our families taking advantage of the repayment agreement.
Well, Ms. Green, I appreciate your benevolence.
She said
I
people
encourage
just
you
don't
to
want
go
the
ahead and
money.
up
That what she
because
said in the meeting one
I
time.
think we
Said
need
people
that
just don't want.
coercion.
They don't want to sign up for the
We're
agreements.
calling
I don't know.
trying to be nice, trying to be
They
good.
didn't have one when
It's like
Doug
you
was
say,
there.
you're not going to get the kind of
That's when they
response.
started.
But once
We
that
made
notice
them
get on the
start.
door, you'll get the
After,
response.
I'm
So
telling you, they ain't having
I
$1
support
versus around
that
crazy.
you raise that number
No, not
they
at that
lied.
time.
and begin to get at that, because we've got to look at the health and our fiduciary responsibility to collect that money if they're able to do it. Now, if they don't, come on in and talk about us. We can see what we can do differently, but I encourage you to be a little bit more aggressive so that we can begin to get that number down. And if we have to discuss how we can get some additional help in there to do that, then that's what I think we
But they're
need to
spending
do.
money
Frozen.
on
Okay,
other
yes,
things,
thank
so
you.
aren't they creating a higher?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bro, this app is tweaking.
Mr. Chair,
Anybody else?
yes, I just have one
Yeah,
question.
Commissioner Elliott.
Ms. Green, what law firm or attorney do we use for our unlawful detainer actions?
Our in-house staff, Associate General Counsel is actually handling all of our unlawful detainers and work with the property managers going to court. So Ms. Denise Webb is actually
I'm
going
gonna be
to
a
court.
dick, cause I'm dick. Bro, my shit froze again. I gotta keep
Any other
going
questions,
in and
Ms.
out.
Green? All right, Mr. Nesmith, I believe
Yes,
you
ma'am.
and Mr.
Can I do
Davis are up now, if I'm not
Somebody
mistaken.
wanna clear
On
it
400 East Gracie.
if they're creating a-
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Well,
We can hear you now.
there's
Thanks.
nah, I
Before we
don't
start
really,
with this
not the
one,
way
before
their
I update
finances
you,
work. It's
East
like
Gracie, I do
That
want
app's
to
tweaking.
Because how
applaud
are
the
you,
chairman
how they, I
for
don't understand if you're
really,
spending
and the
more
vice
money
chair
on
for
other
being
things
open
and
to
you're getting money from the city. How,
trying to
why
figure
do
out
you
ways
get
in
money
which
from
we
the
can
government?
run our full board and committee
oh,
meetings
yeah.
more
But they're saying
I
they need
think
to figure out.
if they
I
really
talked with
wanted
them
to,
about that.
I think that they
and
could.
the board in general.
If
in
it
terms
made
of the
sense
board,
to a wealthy white person for
having that
them
confidence
to
in the
play
new
with the
team that
numbers
we
and
have,
get the money from their
that people
capital
are on,
budget and use it
to,
towards
you know,
the
run
operating
the
expenses,
operation
which is what you're trying to
have
say,
that-
you know what I'm saying?
that
Because you know they got
separation.
different
So I want
buckets
to
of
first
money, you know
applaud
what I'm
both
saying?
of
So
them. I
like
know that
the cameras coming
looking
from the
at
capital
change is
fund
always
budget,
tough.
so they can only use it to build
Oh, because they
things
have
and stuff
different
But I
like
think
that.
that
their
Yeah.
budget that they
if you
allocate.
look at
Right.
the 30,000 level
They're
fee,
still taking.
But that's
the
the
idea
that's
of trying
the
to,
structural
move
racism that
forward,
we're dealing
doing
with
something
in
with
all of
more
our
effectiveness,
governments.
But if they don't
more
have money in the
efficiently,
capital
more
budget,
efficiently.
but they're
I
still
want to
using
applaud
other what's
both the chair and the
money
vice chair for
coming
being
from that they're
open,
using?
even when I suggested this a while
They're
back.
just talking
and
about debt.
Now the chairman.
They're
wants
just
to
talking about
look
their
at this,
debt that's coming from
in terms of how we
them
run
not
our meetings.
collecting rent.
The next agenda item is an example of it. And what I would do,
Dick
Mr.
gotta get
Chairman,
back
is
in the
that,
chair.
my executive assistant sends out to
Oh, yeah, I
all
get
the
this
board
shit to
members
kids, too.
the agenda for all of the committee meetings. And I'll make sure that we
what's the password?
highlight them so that and help them be more aware of them so that they know when those they can identify when there are specific issues that are being addressed by a committee, board committee. That way they say, I'm going to carve out time to see if I can attend that committee meeting because now you want the committees to be that full work of doing the work. I want to make sure that when we send out the
Right.
agenda for the committee meetings,
Now
it's
you got the
highlighted
CEO
so
saying,
board
"Well, I
members
guess
can
I
say,
need to
you know what,
attend
they're
the
gonna be tackling
committee
issues.
meetings now
I want to see if I
because
can
of the shit that
attend
Barrett
that
said."
and voice my concern or whatever. So,
So
I'm
like
going
they
to
just have meetings
do that
on
and try to
like
help
any day that
help in
everybody's
that effort.
available with no
The
one
next
set
item
day.
They
here
have
is
meetings
full
in
training.
Uh-oh,
We gave
Blunt in the
this
chat.
thorough,
Blunt in the chat.
board
Yo,
real
hold
estate
on.
committee.
What she
But
say?
now again, we're going to put on it again.
What she
We're
say?
gonna do a
She says
streamlined
the
one,
difference
but we're gonna
between.
make sure it's
Hold it. What the
thorough,
chat? How I bring the
also.
chat up?
Daryl, can you give the report here
How
on
I
the
bring the
physical
chat up?
building
So it's
and
open.
the
So if
residents,
is she talking?
and then really quickly what we plan to do.
She said there is a
building
difference
terms
in the
of ensuring
availability of
there's
information.
100% portability when we look to self-development.
Because don't you have to sign up
Absolutely.
to see at these meetings?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you all know, we acquired 400 East Grace back in December, and shortly after that, there was an incident at the building that required us to
Alright,
remove
play
everyone
like
from the
O's,
building.
man.
Actually, on
The creation.
and
Watch, I'm about
again,
to
thanks
bomb
our
the
staff
creation
who
of
went
a
into immediate action to make
consent
all that
agenda
happen.
will severely disenfranchise
We had the
people.
building inspected
Other
with a team of architects and engineers. who
government
went in. The original
agencies
intent was to see what it would take
that
to
use
move
them
people back into the
have
building
a much better record
permanently, but
of
that
compliance
inspection
with
told us that the
open
building could not be
meeting
made habitable
regulations.
with a simple rehab. It would essentially require
Because
a
don't
gut
they have
rehab
to sign up to
and
even talk at the meeting? So if they don't have
and
internet
the
or
replacement
any
of
access to it,
particularly
how
some
do they-
major
how do they
life
expect
safety
them to-
systems
how do they
before the
expect
building
citizens
can
to
be made
comment when
safe.
they don't have an opportunity
So
to
what
even-
we are doing at this point is
even
another
speak?
team of
They should
architects
have
will
the
go in
meetings
to look
at
at exactly
different
what it would take
housing authorities.
to replace those life safety systems and completely rehab the building for permanent.
That's what the lady said.
I bombed on their ass with that. I just smoked their ass with what I just said. They gonna look at that shit like, oh.
What'd you say?
We would
I said y'all don't even release the agendas until the day of the meeting. The creation of a consent agenda will severely disenfranchise people. Other government agencies that use them have a much better record of compliance with open meetings.
Had we not done
I'm
projects
saying,
like
is this
like
Urban's
this in the
idea? Did
past,
anybody else
we
put this
would
forth?
not
Did anybody
have
raise
the,
concerns?
I think it was
federal
just him.
money
I think it
going
was
into
as the
things
chair,
like this.
as
So
him.
it is imperative
Must be, I
that
don't
the
know.
agency keep a flow
Yeah, I
of
don't
non-federal
know.
cash coming into
How long has
the
RJ been
authority.
doing it like this?
So that is the that's
Doing
the
what?
plan for 400 East
What they're
Grace
doing now.
in
He's ready
regards
to change
the
something that's been
residents.
going on for decades.
Yeah.
There were 14 families that
Well, that's
had
what he's
moved out of the
proposing. So
building.
he would need.
Four
I
of
don't know.
those
I think.
have already been permanently relocated.
I don't know. I
Four
don't.
of those
I
are
don't know.
simply
You
waiting
might gotta
to
check the
fill out
bylaws.
forms
I
so
just
we can move
noticed
them
that they
out.
changed the bylaws, bro.
And three of
They just
them
changed the bylaws like a
have
couple
been
years
approved to
ago.
move into public on the
It
second,
was
and we are down to just three households that we are working to relocate.
remember.
Two of those are just waiting on proof of income, and one is waiting on a handicap accessible unit. So we do have options for all 14 families.
They
Four
talking
are
about Gray
gone
Street?
from the extended
Yeah.
stay and
Yeah,
have
they
a
talking about
permanent
the
location to go to.
building they
Except
just
for those
bought,
last three.
400 East Gray Street. They,
Oh, that's across the street from
Thank you,
Lee
Mr.
Borough.
Davis. And before
Yes.
I open the floor to questions for Mr. Davis,
They
I
bought
just want to
them?
make sure. I think that there were some
they bought that building in like November.
misunderstandings
Then
during the real estate
mysteriously,
committee meeting.
pipes
Why
burst
it's important
like
to
within
read
2 weeks
here
after
is
them
that
buying the building, and they had to
the
get all the
deterioration that
letters.
occurred in this building
And now they
occurred
can do
before
their
RRHA
renovations.
purchased it. We owned the land under the building, but
Oh, that's the
building
old
itself was
Marvel
owned
Parks
and managed by another property management company who also
That
developed
used to
the
be student
property.
housing.
Also, the residents who lived there became our tenants just days before this water main broke.
Just
So
days before.
we became their landlords very quickly. They were not public housing residents. I think I've heard some concerns from folks who live in our communities that we could do the same thing to them, and it's not the situation. This was an emergency situation, and the housing authority
I don't
actually
know what you're
stepped
talking
in to really to save this building, to try and preserve it as affordable housing, and to create a better living situation for the folks who were living there because they were being evicted unlawfully and were in a very, very dangerous living situation. So just want to make sure that we say to the public that this was not something that was an RRHA problem
What?
for a very long time. We were
Yo, he is wilding.
What he
to
said?
solve the problem and have been taking care of
They
it
were being evicted
in a way
illegally,
that
but
the
Central Virginia
landlord
Legal
never
Aid
did.
was helping them. Like, y'all didn't help them out of that situation. You're not lawyers. You don't defend nobody from eviction. They didn't know. He trying to like take credit. Like, oh, they were facing eviction until we got the building, and then the pipes burst, and then they got into the hotel. That's basically what he just said.
So they were going to evict them either way if the pipes burst.
Well, the people, yeah, they were definitely going to relocate them either way. They were going to relocate them either way.
Hearing none, thank you for that. Up
'Cause
next on our agenda is the
So how are
Gilpin
they
RFQ.
evicting them, but then they're like,
Yes, so,
they're paying
yes,
to
sir.
put
Thank
them
you,
in
Mr. Chair.
hotels?
So that's we are excited
Yeah.
to say that we're going to put the RFQ, which is a request for qualifications, out for the redevelopment of Gilpin.
Who is that?
Crown Jewel, no later than the end of this month.
Crown
We're going to do two, and in that.
Is that the
it's gonna
CEO?
have a couple things. Number one,
Oh, it is.
it's going to have a bond financing component in it.
There you go.
And I may have mentioned, and I
Bond
did mention to the
financing.
mayor of the cabinet's meeting.
See,
cabinet meeting,
yeah,
this
like he
week,
trying
we're
to do
going
some
to
big
have,
shit, bro. Like
the
some
group that
big
did the Diamond
Wall Street type shit.
District,
what he brought in?
bond financing that was
Whoever's bringing these people in is
$1
smart because they brought in.
The new CFO, they got a new COO. They done moved Kenyatta. She was interim CEO. They done put her back at some other mess.
Now the
She had moved up to
dynamics are not the same
COO.
as well.
Like
They basically
Sale
brought
Wall
in
Street
an investor.
fundamentals are not the same.
they,
When
oh,
you look at the tip that they drew for
she
the
moved
Diamond
the
District
up to
Gilpin,
COO when
there are some
Terry
real
Walton now.
opportunities
You know, your-
there for
your
some
girl.
real bond financing. So it has that language in there, and also one of the things that Vice Chair Bill Johnson told me a while back. He said, Nesbitt, think about, a lot of developers they come into the community, they want something, they want to make money, but what are they giving back to the community? So we're also going to have some language in there to encourage whoever the developer is to make a commitment to invest in the community.
What does that mean?
In some way that they would set up
in some way
invest in the community. If it's a community center, if it's
this don't even make sense, bro.
Job training, no matter what it is, but to invest in the community. The same way you see many corporations do that around the country, and that thought and that blood.
Now what they're saying in the comments.
Thinking that through, and I think if they're going to benefit, they
is this Blunt going off in the comments, bro?
Big things are going to you'll see
all these comments
lastly,
from her.
We're going to make sure that it is publicized very widely. That
I say
RFQ is going out.
So they go pitch for it.
Or very few people can say.
Blunt.
I didn't know about
okay.
it. I wish I could have told someone I know to submit a bid. So that's my report on the open RFQ. Sure.
That was the CAO.
Mr. Nesbitt. Just a couple quick questions, Mr. Nesbitt. What's the timeline on that?
So I said I'm confused as to why Mr. Hartman is trying to change the rules and protocols around the consent agenda. When did this all of a sudden become an issue?
That I can come back to you.
Good question.
This would change the way RRHA has conducted the consent agenda for years.
I think it's usually.
I mean, he's saying, in his opinion, it's an improvement.
I wouldn't get your exact numbers, Chairman, but I think it's.
So that they can move more efficiently.
Is it 30 days or is it 3 weeks?
But like Blunt said,
Art is actually on, so he will be.
Who is the one asking you to make us move more efficiently? Like that's what Blunt basically said.
Yeah, generally for large projects like the open, the RFQs will be available for 30 days. It can be extended if we get additional interest or other people come to us and let us know they're interested. But 30 days is usually the
Am I wrong?
No. Hey.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And just since it's kind of overlapping, how far along in the Choice Neighborhood Planning Grant process are we with Jackson Ward?
Great question.
He's the head of RRHA.
Well, he's the head of the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Essentially the head of the governing body.
Plan is in its second year. The final
if there's a head, it's like it's not like his vote is more than anyone else.
But still, he still is in charge.
He's in charge of the flow of the meeting. It's more like that. And if you know what you're doing, you can use that power to influence the
So
outcomes.
there's no other black people that are more representative of the community.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that he's not like technically like the head.
But to say it doesn't come with additional pools or leverage,
no, I didn't say that. I said you control the flow of the meeting. So if you know what you're doing, you can influence the outcome of the meeting. If you know, if you're good at it.
Even optically.
With the final due in November.
Or as the CEO.
Any other questions? Yes,
Mr. Chair, I want to add one thing to
I
ask
see
the
what you're
question.
saying.
So that community engagement started in May of last year.
We had to get
Then we gone
last
along,
one out,
obviously with
we had to get her up all day.
Lambert, a bunch of community groups, churches.
Well, she was wilding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We had to get her up all day.
What was she doing again?
Remember, she was
going
like,
off on you.
yeah, she was calling residents liars. She was like, she was saying something else about me.
And so
she was
the group that we're going to engage to do some more community
I think she was like cutting people off and stuff with other commissioners.
So do they partner
is a
with
group
Roland
well-known,
Rock,
well-respected
in
called
order to
the City
create a
Ambassadors.
liaison between,
Why that
them
group?
getting
Because
evicted and
they
stuff?
have the respect of the residents,
So
and
No.
we want to engage
the
them
residents have to
to
come to
get as
us. So
many
RRHA doesn't
residents
connect the
out
residents
into
to
like a
No.
big event. To
I think they
inform
started
them,
putting
hear the voices,
Legal Aid's name on
and the
the.
City Ambassadors is a really great group to
Oh my
encourage people
God!
to
Did
come
he
out
say the
because,
City
again,
Ambassadors?
they just have a lot of respect.
Bro,
They
you
have a lot
don't
of
even
experience
know who they
with
are.
getting big groups of people to come.
Bro,
we're
you
gonna
just
engage
got to
them.
Richmond. How do
We
you
want as
even
much
know
robust,
everybody out
community
here
engagement.
say
So
that program
there'll be
trash?
fewer people to say, well, I didn't know about it. No one talked to me. I talked to Councilwoman Ann Lambert. She said that's a great idea to engage them in the
I don't know
process.
what
So
you're
that's
talking
what
about.
add that.
Appreciate that.
No, somebody just texted me. Shantae,
All right,
no
moving on.
Shantae. Said, what's up, I was wondering what I did to you.
Ho, ho, ho.
Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board. On February 7th,
Man, mute that.
The HUD Richmond field office,
Turn your shit up.
during one of our
Oh,
regularly
damn.
scheduled
Hold up.
calls,
Oh,
notified our CEO, Steve Esmond, of HUD headquarters' intention to conduct a comprehensive review of our operations. They told us that it will be happening sometime in April.
what?
We were told that 30 days prior to the review, we would be contacted by HUD to give us the actual formal start date and to advise us
Damn it, how do I
of
turn this up?
specific areas that HUD will focus on during
They
this
said
review.
Hood doing
To note
some
that this
kind
review
of
is not targeting the
comp.
Richmond Redevelopment and Housing Authority.
Wait,
It's one of several comprehensive programmatic reviews that HUD headquarters is conducting on public housing authorities in our region.
in the region.
And that this particular engagement was initially scheduled over 3 years ago, but because of COVID, it required them to postpone and reschedule. The Richmond Field Office said that they were not at liberty to share the specific areas of focus, but noted that it would likely cover its agency's governance,
Oh, turn it up, man, because I don't know.
the public housing program,
think
the Housing Choice Voucher Program,
I
the Capital
don't see
Fund
how
program,
this. I don't think this thing
and
is.
grant
It's gonna get
programs
audited,
such as
essentially.
family self-sufficiency,
Yeah, it's on the
resident
agenda.
opportunities and self-sufficiency.
It's a different audio.
As was just reported by Clifton Larson, a subcomponent of our annual independent audit is called a single audit. This type of audit reviews the management of our operations. Besides reviewing our finances, our independent auditors randomly select files in statistically relevant program areas to determine our compliance to programmatic requirements. For the past few years, these single audits have identified some deficiencies in our program management. However, none of these have risen to the level of major material weaknesses in our internal control of our major programs. This single audit reviews are valid indicators of our overall operational performance and management. However, this upcoming HUD review will be more detailed, more comprehensive, and will include most of our federal programs that we administer. The CEO, during his first week in office, told staff that he expects the agency to be managed in a professional and transparent manner, and has recently asked his executive team to review their departmental policies and procedures to ensure that they are complete, up to date, and that ongoing training on them is budgeted and scheduled. The TAG Associate Organizational Assessment, which was initiated by this Board of Commissioners prior to the CEO being hired, identified areas in our operations that require programmatic improvement. TAG Associates are currently in the process of initiating the implementation of many of the required corrective actions that were identified in their assessment. This HUD review will include a section on the agency's governance. Based on my experience with similar reviews, I highly recommend that this Board of Commissioners undertake a HUD-sponsored video training entitled Lead the Way, PHA Governance and Financial Management, a training for board members. And I would urge the board to take this video training prior to the start of this HUD review. HUD will invariably make this training a recommended response to their review of our governance, and it will be in our best interest to report that our board has already taken this course. This review should take about a week. The CEO has stated that he welcomes this review because it may identify programmatic areas that we may need to strengthen. We will share with the board when HUD initiates this review, its progress, and our response to the findings. With the recognition and understanding that this review may become a public document.
That's his daughter, isn't it?
So I'm open for any questions that the board may have on this.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. I remember the Lead the Way training. I think several of us took it a year or so ago. So board members have something to look forward to there.
Who said that? The U.S. government?
Any questions for Mr. Kelly?
For real?
Yes, Mr. Kelly. Yes,
having
Mr.
a
Chair.
party.
Mr. Kelly,
He about to die. He finna search his
does
house
this have anything to do with
Man, his ass is fucking 80-some years old.
review we've already had
81 years old.
about regarding the Big Six? Is that included in it or getting credit for that?
Winston Churchill.
No, I believe this is a separate review altogether. It's one in which they are really looking at not necessarily our real estate activities, but the management of our major programs.
I love the comments though. It's like the only way you can really
public housing program,
get your voice heard.
and the
It's like the only way like
grants, capital,
commissioners can be
etc.
checked because you can't say
So
shit.
it's
You gotta
separate
sign
from
up and then you can't directly talk to a commissioner.
And
It's like really the only way you can voice your opinion directly with them. It's like
set
Twitter.
that training up to make sure that we are on it, get credit for those who take it, and for those who need to take it,
Get a bunch
that
of
we can
investors. Like
take this in a timely manner.
Yeah,
what did they do? Like, don't they have to vote or something?
CEO about how we can
But they're all pro.
check the boxes, they say, to
They're
ensure
all
that when HUD comes,
pro investment friendly.
all the
They're all pro private.
all the board can
Privatized.
say
But how
they
did
take
they-
it, they
so-
can
They're gonna
take
sell it to
It's a
somebody
very
else, just like they
simple-
did on
I mean,
Channel.
it's
Sales
an
land,
easy
somebody
test,
will
it's
sell
an
somebody
easy,
Well,
else.
like with Creighton, like
It's an
how did they get approved?
They submit
course
it to
to
HUD, the
apply
federal
for.
government. The federal government approves it.
And the truth be known,
And it's funny because Donald Trump's
But why
federal
did they
government.
decline Creighton Road?
But to your point,
No, they
Commissioner
approve
Jones,
phase
I
one
think
because you have to do
really
the phase,
that
or they
again,
apply to phase. I don't know if you have to. They probably.
show
You believe that in the
Commissioner
past
John Kelly.
that they've issued 2,400 housing trusts and only 300.
I don't want to reiterate.
Great. Well, thank you, Mr. Kelly, for that. We're looking forward.
I don't believe that.
I would expect that number to be high because once you get one, you always fuck it up. I would think
But
it'd be
a
higher
lot of
than that.
people be like, yeah, a lot of people be like, yo, I can't find no place. Like I've met people that joint expired on them. Like
What did you ask for?
There are situations where
the question
people
is
can play
like,
with the facts and play with their stuff.
damn, bro.
I wanted to make sure the board was aware that we need to be cautious about how
It
we
took my
respond.
dad 2 years to get off the waiting list. He got moved
Absolutely,
into
and
Kingsbridge.
I think we
a lot of people
try to
lying
operate
about
on the idea that pretty much everything we do or say
He
for
got
this
denied
body
for the
is part
Renaissance,
of the
even though the
public record.
Renaissance is predominantly for 60
So thank you for
plus.
that. The last thing on the CEO's update is the second chance opportunities.
Stanley
higher
asked me
public
questions
housing
about
benefits. So,
Armstrong Renaissance.
Mr.
Who
Nesbitt, you want
owns
to
the
proceed with
property?
that?
How much it was sold for? I'm gonna send it for tomorrow.
But they
You're
said
muted,
just
Mr.
senior
Nesbitt.
community.
Okay.
So now they're saying,
So I
is
did
it the
it
new
myself
houses
then.
that they build, those are for seniors?
No, they already built.
So
some for
thank you,
seniors.
Mr. Chairman.
But only like 30
it's
of them are
great
for-
to end on the
are
story
for-
that I'm about to share with you all because
Are designed for low
I
income.
know it's near and dear to a lot of folks.
No, like the link I sent you the other day where it says
members
like
of the
now
committee.
Armstrong Renaissance is strictly
I'm
60
sorry,
and up.
the
But it
commissioner,
wasn't like
member of
that
the commissioners.
when they started moving.
And it's
to
near
probably
and dear
the
to
new
my
ones
heart.
that
Someone
they
who grew
really
up in
are for
public
seniors.
housing and always believed in second chances. And I know that when I had my a really nice conversation with legal aid and Marty, who's the leader of that.
Marty is
Marty,
not the leader.
he also asked us as we are having conversation with HUD
Yeah.
headquarters. It's a policy matter. You know, we have to be
You didn't say
careful
my name.
with
Nah, we was in the meeting
who
with
we
him.
hire, and
Couple
there's
weeks
certain
ago.
protocols and things that we cannot do. But
So what does he
again,
do?
as I said, I believe in second chances, and I've been working with our VP for Resident
Just to
Service,
see,
Ralph
yeah.
Stuckey, and we've really
Oh,
tried
Stuckey,
to
he said.
stay within the boundaries of the rules in terms of hiring, and we
Second
are
chance.
proud to announce that we have
What you talking about?
been able to stay within the boundaries of the
Getting
rules around hiring, but not
People with
let
records that live with the
that have
housing
limits that
authorities,
someone may
getting
have in
them
their
jobs
background
with maintenance and
prevent
stuff like that.
RRHA from giving a second chance to young public housing.
But he tried to
youth.
frame it like
And I'm proud to say that
that's
we
going to
have
get them to
hired
better housing.
2 individuals. And I think they may be
Right.
on this
So
call.
you
Ask
getting
them
somebody a
to be
job
on
because
if they're on.
that's
I'll announce
that's
the
what they
names.
on right now. They on like, oh, we got to
First
get
woman
people's
is,
incomes higher so they can go
She
get them
may
a
be on the
house.
up. She's coming on now.
That's what that's what he kicking these days.
Shaquana Brown. Shaquana Beacoat. She is there. She is right there. A lovely young lady. She is joining the executive team and will be helping out Priscilla, who is doing the job of 3 people. and we're so proud to give her that second chance, and really happy that you're going to be joining the executive team. And the second person is Sade Brown, and she will be joining. Sade Brown will be joining the executive team, and Shaquana will be joining the communications team. So I had that in reverse. And when I got to give credit to our head of HR as well, Priscilla Barty, who worked really hard with us on this. And it's a proud moment, right? You've got two young ladies who've been given a second chance, and as you know, Commissioner John, sometimes I like to sing. And when I came in and I did the interview with these two young ladies, they both were in tears, and I just wanted to end on a good note. Just let them both say hello, because I'm going to say this. Some of y'all don't like to sing, so I had the song, "We Fall Down, But We Get Up." That song, I sang that song.
Oh, he said God brought him to Richmond. He said God, yeah. Yeah, he said God brought him to Richmond to come and help. He said that at a meeting that I was at. Then other people that was at other meetings, they
Yes.
told me, yo,
Hello, everyone. I just want to say that I'm so excited to be a part of the team.
I was like, yeah, he said the same thing.
I'm just grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
Who's this girl, Shaquana again?
I'm not sure if
she's their new person that they've hired. That I think
our other
has got a
hiring
criminal
said that she
record.
was
They
going to
live
be
in a
on.
housing
I don't
authority.
know if Sade Brown is on. Sade, are you on?
Where say congrats, Shaquana.
I see her name in one of our boxes, Ms. Brown.
Do they have like community health workers that help?
I don't know. She's off mute, but I don't know if she's having similar problems to what Mr. Nesbitt had before, because we can't hear.
Well, yep.
Either way, that is a great note to end the CEO's comments on. Ms. Brown and Ms. Pico, welcome to the team. We're excited to have you and excited to hear your contributions to what's going on every day at RRHA. So welcome and congratulations.
She said thank you.
Up next, I think we've got, unless there's anybody else who wanted to say anything, Commissioner Parker, I saw you came off mute.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to welcome them both to the RRHA family. And certainly, I just think this is a wonderful opportunity for them to take advantage of this second chance. And I just wish the best for them. We just pray that everything just goes well for you and that you become more than successful than you ever thought. So thank you and welcome aboard.
Duncan made 250.
Duncan made 250? I thought it was about 200.
And Chairman, I would also like to, if I may, welcome Shaquana and Sade, who I happen to be in a class with on Thursday night.
And somebody
Welcome,
showed me
ladies.
a website that you could like. Somebody showed me a website.
I had no idea. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, you type
Yes. Yeah.
But it's like some little open something.
I knew your face looked familiar. So good to see you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, will. South Carolina.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir, Commissioner Parker.
I didn't use all my time, did I?
Go ahead.
You claim your time.
Next time.
Okay. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to whoever put this together. I think Ms. Fountain and the HR committee put this together. The Get Out to Work process and welcoming employment opportunities. I think this was a wonderful package that was put together, and I'm just elated to see these opportunities come for these young people and all the citizens in the community in the Big Six. And hopefully they had a great turnout, and hopefully we hired some people as a result of that. So maybe at some point in time, HR or Ms. Fountain or somebody might share how many people we did hire or how many people got opportunity to have employment as a result of this. But I just think that's a wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
So they have to like update the community, but don't.
All right, Commissioner Johnson, your real estate committee is up first.
Or is it just them just talking amongst
Well,
themselves?
we covered a couple.
Like, do they just hold it just for them?
Oh, thank you, Mr.
They
Chair.
would have.
And
people could have talked.
just in
at the
case,
beginning
I'm
of
gonna
this
ask Alicia to back me up because I can miss some things.
It's open.
But we did cover what is going on with the Gray Street project. We talked about that. and we talked about we didn't get into the Michaels thing that the Michaels situation. We put that off and bring it before this board. And Mr. Nesbitt, did we
I think he
prepared
probably
to
not
do
gonna
anything?
want it.
Tell us any additional information about that.
Yes, I can report to you all that we had the meeting with Michaels, and the good news report that we had very, very favorable discussions, and it looked like
See, it's like this
we may be
thing,
going in
it
a
don't show
positive
you
direction
the-
rather than a negative direction. Happy to hear that. That's we're all on the table together, the investors, Dewey, the Virginia Housing, everyone. And so I will have a much more substantive, positive update because we're looking to memorialize everything in writing. We're looking to have we have a meeting next Friday. I think it might be. Hopefully at that time I can share something that's memorialized in writing that's positive.
Okay, thank you so much. Alicia, do you have anything to bring that I might have?
166,
I feel like I've been
the rest of it
in a
was
fog.
made up of
Remind me of that I might have forgot about it in the commission.
Sure, yes, sure. Another agenda item was discussing the
It was some
Richmond
stuff in
300
there, like his
events
rent
that
or
are a
something,
work in
yeah.
progress,
Expenses and stuff.
including our public housing communities as priority neighborhoods in the Richmond City Master Plan, which will be presented to you all in March.
Thank you so much. Mr. Nesbitt, during the course of that real estate committee meeting, and I want to thank you so much for standing up for RRHA to take possession of the organization. I just appreciate that mightily. And I want the rest of the board to know that I'm hoping that we can put a charrette together that we can, in regards to this amendment, to bring a couple of things to the table that we can discuss. And that is, there are organizations out here who have put together a public housing plan, and that comes in review and to layer in on our strategic plan. So when we make amendment to the planning commission, that we can add a favorable amendment to the amendment to include our public housing plan and to talk about our strategic plan as far as wording it in such a way. But I do think that we need to come together, sit down, and discuss it, and not try to do it in a meeting. But we've set aside just for that, because this is very important that we get in at the plan so that when this is not a race, it's a marathon, that when we pass it on, the information and the things that we've done now can be implemented and carried forth, rather than somebody come in and try to change the whole situation. They can build on what we're attempting to do now. So I think it's very important that we sit down and our housing plan and our strategic plan is a part of this amendment when it goes in. So I wanted to add that in. I want to encourage the staff that when appropriate to kind of corral us, might be like herding cats, but to corral us and get us down and get us informed and see how we can make this a part of the master plan for the entire city. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Any questions about the real estate committee? All right, up next, Commissioner Blunt, Administration and Finance.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Blunt?
So we did meet. We did end up with a quorum, and so as not to have us speak again on reports that have already been spoken, there were 8 resolutions that we discussed, one of which we've already voted on tonight. We also chose to vote to have a block vote for the rest of the resolutions that night, which was unanimous. And we did that to bring those things forth for tonight. So for those of you who have the sheets, resolutions, the rest of the resolutions are on there for you to see.
And for those who don't, whoever is the administrator right now of this meeting, would you please share the back of the agenda
if it's a consent
with those
agenda,
resolutions,
right,
so that it can be seen for the people who do not have?
they might not even mention
maybe at home or
that
wherever.
it's 550,000 at this meeting.
And
They would just say, "Oh, resolution 3, resolution 5,
Mr. Chairman,
resolution
would
6."
you like us to vote on them now?
I was going to ask Art if he would just run through them very quickly, just to let everybody know what they are. It's other than the audit, they were all procurements, some emergency procurements that we're voting on after the fact.
Procurement too.
But Mr. Walker and Mr. Blunt, if that's okay with you as chair of that committee, if I could have Mr. Walker kind of run through this quickly.
Right, I was going to ask him, but I wanted whoever is administrating to show it, so that people who don't have the papers could see it if they wanted to. And Art, would you please go ahead and just do that brief 7 of the 8 that were not voted on yet?
Yeah, sure, Commissioner Blunt. Priscilla, if you give me access to share, I can put those up on the screen as I give a really quick synopsis of each one.
Art, I'm pulling up the agenda, but did you need to? I can make you the presenter if you need. I was pulling up the agenda.
If you make me the presenter, I can put each one up on each resolution up on the screen so that the commissioners get a chance to see them. So.
Okay, you should have it now.
All right, give me 1 moment.
On the second page.
You're able to see my screen.
We got it.
Ain't nobody see that mess.
So, very briefly, the first resolution is to ratify the emergency purchase of cybersecurity software. Our IT systems are responsible for safeguarding sensitive, personally identifiable information of the program participants, including addresses and social security numbers. We recently experienced multiple unsuccessful attempts to breach our IT infrastructure. After consultation with cybersecurity vendors and law enforcement, we elected to make an emergency purchase of cybersecurity software from a company called Dark Trace Holdings Limited. The pricing for this purchase is based on a cooperative purchase of this software by Valencia County, New Mexico. In addition, our procurement policy allows the execution of an emergency procurement action. When an emergency exists, it doesn't permit a delay resulting from normal procurement procedures. We declared an emergency on January 25th, 2023, executed the software purchase from Dark Trace.
That's at the last board meeting. It was an FBI agent on the joint. That's why it was like some FBI field office dude. Like, I guess he was like the cyber don't, and then they went into closed session, and I think he talked to them during the closed session, and it was, I can't remember how I found out. It was something about.
Number 2, it is approval to execute a contract with Plumber Near Me LLC.
I can't remember like how I found out that it was something about
our capital plan identified the need to upgrade
and
the HVAC system
something
at
like that. You know
1000
what I'm
St.
saying?
John
So
Street.
I don't know if
that building
somebody
houses the Gilpin
got
Management
hacked
Office
or
and
something
the
like
Friends
that,
Family
and the
Center.
FBI was letting them know.
We
type of
hired
stuff,
AKF, an architectural
but
and
that's why
engineering
they
firm, to
had
examine
to
the
do this
existing
new
equipment and design upgrades.
Because I'd be thinking, who get these contracts?
We advertised an invitation for bids on November 28th, 2022.
Yep, you should.
We held a pre-bid conference on December 15th, 2022 to allow contractors to ask questions. And we received 2 bids for this service on January 17th, 2023. The bids were reviewed. The staff has deemed the lowest bidder for Plumber Near Me to be responsive and responsible. In addition, Plumber Near Me has agreed to the goal of 25% of the labor hours of this project being worked on by Section 3 workers. So at this time, we are requesting the board to approve this contract in the amount of $827,468.23.
I'm about to show y'all this. I'm about to, so y'all can see the next. I want y'all to be able to see what they're talking about.
Is approval to extend the contract with Accelerated Information System, Accelerated Information Services for the document management system.
Showing y'all the thing good.
In February of 2021, we executed a contract with AIS for a cloud-based centralized document management system. This system provides a solution that will streamline and automate the entire life cycle of document management as well as general administrative functions. This system will be used for managing paperless workflow processes and is phased to include additional workflow processes. The scope of the system can also be enhanced based on our requirements. The first phase of system deployment includes initial implementation, acceptance, and training. The original contract was for 1 year with an option to renew for an additional year. At this time, we're seeking an additional 1 year extension to include the first phase. This extension cost only includes fees for the software subscription.
$77,000.
So at this time, we're asking the board to approve this contract modification in the amount of $77,900. Our next resolution is approval to execute a contract with Rubino and Company for audit services. We recently saw proposals from auditors to perform an audit of our accounts and records for the 12-month period ending September 30th, 2022 and September 30th, 2023. The contract will also include options to renew for 3 years thereafter. The firm will be required to audit all statements and disclosures required by generally accepted accounting principles. And the audit shall be sufficient in scope to enable the firm to express opinions on our financial statements in compliance with laws, regulations, contracts, and grants applicable to major federal programs. We issued an RFP on November 11th, 2022. We held a pre-proposal conference on November 22nd, 2022 to allow firms to ask questions. We received 4 proposals for this service on December 7th, 2022. The proposals were reviewed by an evaluation committee, and that committee is recommending award of this contract to Rubino and Company. Rubino, in addition, has agreed to a minority business participation goal of 20% of the contract value. So at this time, we are requesting approval of the contract for Rubino and Company for $230,970 for the initial 2 year period. Next is the approval to execute a contract with Bliss Products and Services for installation of playground equipment at Hillside Court.
There you go.
So this project is it's actually a partnership between RRHA
and the city of
Richmond.
They couldn't even pay. They didn't even pay for this by themselves. They got the city to help them with the playground, but the city didn't help you with the millions that you're spending on the county. You did that out your own pocket, but you wouldn't even do the fucking playground without the city helping. That's crazy.
This is the first phase of the project, which includes the installation of the playground equipment for community use. There will be additional phases that will include a walking path that surrounds the equipment, some further landscaping improvements, and also an art installation that will be donated by the city.
Donated.
We advertised a bid for the service on December 7th, 2022. We had a pre-bid conference on December 13th.
But this the wild one. This the one that got
basketball courts.
We received
basketball nets
2 bids
ain't no telling
for this service on January 23rd, 2023. The bids were evaluated by staff and the architects who have donated their time, and the lowest bid from Bliss Products and Services is deemed to be responsive and responsible. In addition, Bliss Products and Services has agreed to a 25% goal of the labor hours being worked by Section 3 workers, and a minority business participation goal of 10% of the contract value. At this time, we're requesting approval of this contract in the amount of $325,000. And before I move on to the next resolution, I do want to say a special thank you to Commissioner Shelton.
Paid outright.
Along for the ride as we seek to get this project.
Commissioner Shelton been trying to get that playground fixed for like
Thank you.
4 years.
300,000 is a lot for the fucking playground. God damn.
I don't think it is.
Really?
No.
Next resolution is for
how much you think it costs for new asphalt?
The contract with Ocean's 10 Security.
But the playground is just the mulch and the
camera services.
Right?
In March of 2020, we executed a contract with Ocean's 10 Security to install a security camera system in the big city.
So they already spent 1.48 million
cameras as well as the subscription
on the
for
camera.
software
And
camera
another
maintenance.
2.7.
In 2021, we added an additional 29 cameras for additional coverage. The initial contract was for a 3-year term with 2-year,
so they got 91
2 one-year
cameras.
renewal options. At this time, we're asking the board to approve execution of the first
500,000.
1-year renewal option in the amount of $551.
500,000.
And the last resolution
Put 500,000 on that, but 300 on the playground. Woo!
Was not at the Admin and Finance Committee because the bids came in this past Monday. Is approval to purchase water source heat pumps from Schultz and James Incorporated.
It's big.
We identified a need to replace 177 water source heat pumps at the buildings located at 1920 Stonewall and 1611 4th Avenue. Water source heat pumps provide air conditioning to the individual apartment units. And purchase of this equipment is phase 1 of a project to upgrade those systems at the apartments. Phase 2 will include installation of these units, and it will be bid separate. We advertised the bid on January 20th, 2023 for this purchase. On February 13th, 2023, we received 4 bids and evaluated those bids. The lowest bid was from Schultz and James Incorporated, and the staff is recommending approval of the purchase from Schultz and James in the amount of $500,000.
What is say the organizers experiencing technical difficulty? Look.
And I will be happy to entertain any questions on the commissioners.
Oh,
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Let's deal with resolutions 1 through 6 first, since those came from the committee. Then we'll take up resolutions separately. It's a new resolution before us. Do any of the commissioners? Let me say this: I am going to take public comment on these once the commissioners have their conversation on that. So if you're a member of the public and you'd like to comment on that, just hit the button to raise your hand, and I'll call on you once the commissioners have completed their conversation. Is there any questions of Mr. Walker on the resolutions?
Wait, so you don't have to sign up? I think you just sign up for comment.
No.
Apparently he's saying, because I think that.
All right. Any member of the public care to speak? I'm not seeing any hands raised here. Having come from the committee unanimously. Amari, hang on one second. Go ahead. Mr.
I'm really going to chat like Amari raised his hand.
If you'd like to speak, go right ahead.
Oh. What is it? Oh, did he call on me?
Oh, wait.
Are you able to unmute?
No.
Just put in a comment now.
I'm not sure. Priscilla, I don't know. Are you able to unmute him so that he can speak?
He's having problems. He say he can't unmute.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, here we go. Okay, should be able to now.
Oh, okay.
Unmuted.
Hello.
There we go.
Oh, okay. Hey, how you doing, Commissioner Hardeman? I appreciate you taking comment on, you know, the resolutions, especially in light of what you were saying that you wanted to do with the future of these meetings, you know, because if, you know, if not for that, I don't, you know, the public would maybe not be able to speak on such things, you know. And I know you haven't been watching the Housing Authority maybe as long as I have, Mr. Chair, but the Housing Authority does not have a good record with notifying the public about, you know, what the content of the meetings will be, you know, and that's across the board for the committee meetings and the Board of Commissioner meetings. So I think that, well, yeah, I definitely don't support resolution number 6. I'm against that. I think it's kind of crazy that so much money, $500,000 more, a total of $2.3 million is being spent on cameras. And when I talk to residents, they say, yo, my homeboy got shot over there, they can't find them, or my car got shot up over here and they can't, you know, they haven't pulled the tapes to do any of that. You know, I see a resident shaking her head yes right there on the thing right now. But yeah, so, and I think it's kind of ridiculous that only $325,000 is being spent on the playground, but you're spending $500,000 on cameras. And I think that if that kind of money was going towards programming or things that the community members are saying that they actually need, like stuff for these youngins to do, you know, I think that it'd be more effective. Yeah, well, that's basically my comment. Yeah, and I don't support the creation of a consent agenda or anything like the commissioner was saying. The meetings are all over the place. We want to try to get more residents to these meetings so that they know what's going on. I think that that would be a further form of disenfranchisement against black people in the city, like a lot of things that I think that go on with the Housing Authority's policies. So I don't support that, and I don't support this resolution. I think that it's kind of weird also to me that the city, you know, that the Housing Authority had to leverage city funds also to get the playground up, but they're footing the entire bill for $2.3 million for security cameras that the community doesn't say work. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Webb, will you please call the roll on the first 6?
Absolutely. Commissioner Blunt?
Commissioner Blunt, you're muted.
I apologize, everyone. I was saying, just let me be clear first. Are we doing a block vote on 1 through 6? Is that what we were doing? Okay.
Yes, Commissioner Blunt. 1 through 6, because 8 didn't come through the committee, so we're going to do 8 separately.
I just didn't know if we were doing it as a block. Yes, I'm going to say aye for 1 through 6.
Commissioner Elliott?
At the time,
aye.
As soon as you was finished. At the time of comment.
Commissioner Hardiman?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis?
There's no rims no more?
Aye. One of them did not run.
Commissioner
One of the
Parker?
courses never run. But they wouldn't know they don't run,
Aye.
so they can't check it.
Commissioner Pittsburgh?
Aye. And if Amar at some I'm not addressing him, I'm addressing you, Chair. At some point, if y'all can get together with him and you know,
What you said?
have a conversation with him about that. Thank you. But aye.
She told them to have a conversation.
Commissioner
with me about
Felton?
what I said. She told them that was Pitchford.
Aye.
Because she know I'm spitting real. She know I'm
So the
spitting
vote
that
is
real.
unanimous. Motion carried for resolutions 1 through 6.
Thank you. On resolution number 8, does any commissioners have any questions on that for the water heat pumps?
Commissioner Chairman Hardiman.
Commissioner Parker. Yes, sir.
I too had a few questions. I didn't ask it at the point in time about the security system, and as Omar has mentioned here, I would be concerned a little bit about the effectiveness of it.
Right.
Are these as effective as they should be, or we're just putting cameras up and they're not really capturing what we would like? I don't know what brand of security cameras they are, whether they're Bosch or whatever, but I would hope that if we're spending the money for these cameras that we're getting the results that we should be getting. That's it for me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
One of the youngest got shot right in front of the camera, and they said they couldn't identify who it was.
I know, Colin.
I'll ask. I know Mr. Harrison had some information about the cameras at the meeting, so I might ask him to follow up with you after the meeting, Commissioner Parker, to understand how the authority uses the cameras. Any other comments from the commissioners on the water pumps?
Chair, may I speak?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Shelton.
Yes, for the resolution that is in question 8, I know that it came up at a emergency last minute thing. Where does that fall in the budget, since there is a highly cost on that?
He's gonna say, I ain't never seen
Excellent
one
question. Mr.
picture.
Walker, you know,
I ain't never seen y'all
question,
post
Mr.
nothing
Sarver,
say,
maybe?
oh,
I
look,
believe
we
the
looking
budget
for this
those
person.
pumps is coming
You
from
see,
our operating
I
reserves.
see pictures from convenience stores and stuff when stuff happens, but y'all got a $500,000 a year security system.
Where will that put us at in that reserve?
No, I don't know if Sterling is on, but I do believe that we will still have plenty of reserves left. So the reserves exist for these kinds of emergencies.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, no, it would not put us in a detrimental position. Where
Oh, wait, let me go back. Oh man, I'm doing the wrong. People not even seeing what's going on.
Questions or comments on resolution?
I took the joint off. People got to see what's going on.
Does any member of the public have any comment on resolution number 8? All right, since this one did not come from the committee, it does need a motion and a second. So is there a motion to adopt resolution number 8?
I make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Commissioner Pitchford. Ms. Webb, if you could call the roll for us, please.
Absolutely.
And then y'all
Commissioner
see
Blunt?
the comments.
Aye.
Commissioner Elliott?
Aye.
Commissioner Hardiman?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis?
Aye.
Commissioner Parker?
Aye.
Commissioner Pitchford?
Hi, I'm sorry,
That's all right. Commissioner Shelton?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Vote is unanimous. Motion carried.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Thank you, Commissioners. All right, that brings us to Commissioner Shelton's Property Management Committee.
Who is Portia?
Hi, everyone.
Ridiculous dick.
I don't think I was finished with my committee yet.
Seen the
but,
comment?
I wanted to
I'm sorry. I thought we had wrapped that up.
I gotta go to
No,
ESCO.
no.
Sorry,
Shannon never got a chance.
Next meeting, I'm going to ESCO. I want to have word.
Okay, I apologize. Shannon,
That's okay.
if you're on.
That's okay. We were voting, so I think we just got thrown off a little bit.
No, that really happened.
Shannon,
Three
are
of
you
the
there?
youngest got shot right in front of the cameras,
Thank
and
you.
they told me one of them had no mask on.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. How are you? So during the meeting, we did provide the month of January's balance sheet income statement for both RRHA and the RDC, and we were still showing a profit.
I want to know where that
for
RDC get that
RRHA
money from.
and a slight loss for the RDC,
Their new
and that's only because we don't really have any revenue coming in at
Who's our
this
corporation?
time, and we'll be ramping up for that.
It's the
And that was
Richmond
the extent of
Development
my report.
Corporation. The corporation
Thank you.
they started to do their
Thank
development.
you. And Priscilla, was it? Who did the Section 3 hires and agency vacancies?
I want to know
It was
where
me. Hi.
RDC.
Okay, it was Priscilla. Okay. Hi, Priscilla.
Hello.
Please do a short synopsis of your report. Thank you.
Yes, so good evening, Commissioners, Mr. Nesmith, Mr. Kelly, and fellow staff. The agency vacancy report for the month of February was currently, we have 30 vacancies, and last month we had 37. We hired 5 senior office support specialists, 1 management analyst, and 1 deputy director of human resources. So as I look back to the vacancy report from February of 2022, we had reported 56 total vacancies. So we can see today
day that we made great strides. And I just want to thank the HR team for their hard work and efforts to help filling these vacancies. And we know with the great resignation that the job market is very challenging. And employees are willingly leaving their jobs. Some of the factors employees are leaving are because of low pay, lack of career advancement opportunities, feeling disrespected at work, feeling unsafe, being overwhelmed, and also being short-staffed and not having enough flexibility. So with these challenges, I would like to create an environment here at RRHA where the culture is so amazing that no one wants to leave, right? So that would take some hard work from all of us. We have partnered with third-party firms such as Robert Half, Express Temp Services, Cinefact Technical,
they said they trying to foster an environment where the staff does not want to leave.
And also,
because that's what's important.
Spoke about earlier.
To foster an environment in their organization where their people don't want to leave, where it's like where they don't want to leave, like find another job.
Workforce development opportunities. And I'm just going to say it again that we're happy to announce that we brought on two new interns, both residents of our community through that program who started today. Their roles are office support and receptionist. One of them is working directly with the CEO's office with Priscilla Jackson, and the other one is working with the communications department with Angela and her team. And we're excited to have them here. They will be in an internship status for the first 90 days, fully paid through the
I know they changed some stuff like they can't
and then after
make
the
certain decisions.
first 90 days, they will go into an OJT status, which is an on-the-job training status, and be hired as a full-time employee of RRHA. So while they are in an OJT status, 50% of their salary minus benefits will be paid for by the Virginia Career Works for up to 6 months. And this is a great partnership for the agency to bring in some of our residents where they can get trained, mentored, and compensated by Virginia Career Works for participating in this program. We will also we'll be bringing in more interns through the program to fill our maintenance technicians and maintenance specialist positions. So we also post our vacant positions on ZipRecruiter, Indeed, Fiverr, Naro, LinkedIn, and of course our RRHA website. We had also gone out and did a couple of career work that we've held in the community as well.
Yeah, 160. Shit, a pair of flakes.
That's all I have as far as the vacancies. I have to report that we have one Section 3 hire for the calendar year of 2023. So I think we were reporting for fiscal year.
Yeah, I remember they used to be 8.
So that means we will go from 1 October to 1 September. And if that's the case, we only have one for
I would never spend
this
more
year.
than 180.
And this is the end of my report. Are there any questions for me?
You get just fresh. And I can get them cleaner.
Well, thank you for that, Priscilla.
Thank you.
And thank you all in HR for your work on that.
Commissioner Blunt?
Yes, who was that?
Yeah, this is Commissioner Parker. May I ask Priscilla a question?
Absolutely.
Yes, you had the workforce event that other day, hiring event there. How did that turn out? Were there any hires from that, or how did that happen?
We had received a lot of resumes, and we informed them that we take resumes on the spot, sir, but they need to apply online. So in looking back through the resumes, we had a few of our people to actually go and apply for the job, and I think we did make some offers to a couple of those people from the hiring events.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for that question, Commissioner Parker. As far as the IT updates, Art did mention about some procurement that was taken care of in terms of an emergency situation, and they also reported that, in the words of the Vice President of IT, closed by saying that he was giving a special shout out to her small but mighty department for their efforts in the transition to the 600 East Broad Street building. So for those of you who did not come to the launch or who have not yet seen the building, you're in for a very, very pleasant surprise. I am very proud of that building. I'm proud of our staff. Everyone showed up for that launch. It was very exciting to see our partners there with us and to be able to show, our staff there and have our CEO there with the mayor and all the many dignitaries that showed up and different partners that showed up. It was a great time. But back to my report.
It was like an hour ago.
As far as procurement reporting, you've already heard from Art tonight. Were there any questions? Because if not, one of the things he talked about was the completed procurement on the Mosby Court co-developer, which was completed and the contract awarded. The Blackwell Senior Cottages 2-year contract was awarded for A&E services. The roofing services agency-wide 2 contracts were awarded. The fire damage and repair Hillside unit has a, I think it was a 30-day contract awarded. Was it, Art?
Oh, they asked for what's her name? Cummings to comment, but she won't.
How much was how many days was the contract awarded for the Hillside fire damage?
So, Commissioner Blunt, I think you might be looking at the report from a previous month for.
Okay, but this says the last reporting period. We were talking about the completed procurements, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then for the current ones, he reported on the PBs and how they are now receiving proposals. HVAC work for Gilpin and Hillside Manses are needed, and the underground pipe replacement in Fairfield. They were seeking approval for the large contract, which I think you did mention. And then as far as the future procurements, the construction at risk of the Fay Tower solicitation to hire, and the lead asbestos and mold remediation at Fay Towers. They're working on soon to seek vendors to bid for the lead asbestos and mold remediation at Fay Towers. We talked about our resolutions already tonight, and I believe that was everything. If I left anybody
that's
out,
RRHA's lawyer.
At this time, because I do believe that was
I think he's still there,
Don't leave anyone out.
He's just doing like the background stuff.
Okay, with that being said, I will not belabor this.
Tanise, the black girl.
Department
Tanise
Chairman Hardiman, I apologize, but
thank you for that report, Commissioner Blunt.
Thank you.
Commissioner Shelton, Property Management.
Yes, hi everyone. Excuse me. Kim Yada, if you could give the updates, and since you've done a great job with the lease part of it earlier of the meeting, you do not have to repeat that part as well, so that we can move on to the next committee.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much for that. Good evening again, Commissioner, staff, and guests. The Property Management Committee actually met on Wednesday, February 8th at 9:30. Welcome everyone to attend. You get a wonderful thing
so you either
that
saw
are
the shit
going on
and
in
give a fuck,
our
or you ain't been
housing operations areas. During the meeting, we also discussed, in addition to the lease enforcement action items from our January meeting, which was related to fees associated with the installation of air conditioner vents. And we offered an update on the installation of the back doors in Gilpin Court and Calhoun activities that includes the transfer to the city. Other items that we discussed were related to the Housing Choice Voucher Home Ownership Program updates, which also included a 12-step process and notification that interest forms will be accepted beginning March 27th. We have been working with our software provider to be able to accept debit cards with or without Visa MasterCard logo to make payments through Rent Cafe at a very minimal charge. Further information related to that will come out. We're looking to have this completed by March 1st in time for individuals making their March rent payments. They would have that additional access. And finally, we discussed the opening of several wait lists beginning February 27th, with some closing on March 3rd. As you know, when we open wait lists, we get a very large number of individuals who apply. Most of the wait lists are for project-based voucher communities, where we have site-based wait lists. So this is why there are new wait lists that have been created and formed for these particular communities. The bedroom sizes range from 1 bedroom. We have up to 5 bedroom, which includes our public housing
got on
communities.
their ass about
And
that
so we are looking forward to
couple years
accepting our
ago.
families
Said
and moving
it sound like y'all
individuals
saying
into
y'all
these housing
got
opportunities.
site-based
We
waiting
have not
lists,
had open wait lists
but
in several
it was
years,
like
so I am actually
they was
looking
like, we
forward
didn't give
to
y'all
being
no
able to
approval
move
to
some
do that.
families into these
Like
new
you can't be
communities.
like,
And that
oh, this
actually
person's on the waiting
concludes
list
my
for crate,
report.
this person's
Again,
on
I'll be
the
more than
break. You
happy
know
to
what I'm
answer any
saying? Like,
questions.
you can't do
For a
that.
project?
Yeah.
So
It is
you
exciting to have the waiting list up
The
there.
waiting list is for the whole organization. It's
Any
not for
questions?
But you can't
for
assign them
the
to
screen?
specific
yeah,
projects.
Michelle.
unless you like already like done that or something.
All
They
right,
gave
we will
you
move on
approval
to
to do
Commissioner
that shit.
Parker and his Section 3 and MDE committee.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met on the 13th of February at 5:30 to discuss Section 3. We previously had discussed the updated plan to present to the full board and to present to HUD also. And we did some updates to that and previously, and we did some more on our meeting on the 13th, as well as discussing what an MPP is and as is depicted in HUD and in the city of Richmond and with the state. And there's a couple other things. Art, are you available to share what you have with the Section 3 plan at this point in time? Thank you so much for your hard work on that too.
Thank you, Commissioner Parker. So the committee did vote to bring the new Section 3 policy to the board for approval. So we anticipate having that for the meeting for next month. And I will include a brief presentation to talk about the things that are in that policy.
And she got there when somebody else left, right?
To review.
Hilbert. Yeah.
No, she got Augusta, right?
Thank you, Art. Additionally, I think it was Art or somebody has mentioned something about Starlight Solutions, which is an electrical contractor who's got a contract in the Richmond Housing Authority. I think one of the big six. And also, what's happening with Starlight Solutions, which is an electrical contractor, he has committed to hire 10 trainees or I guess helpers or whatever in a fashion that he would have them on for a 3 to 4 to 5 month period with the opportunity maybe to come back later on if they got extended contract. And I just think this is a great opportunity for a lot of people to just wet their feet in that trade itself, because that is a critical trade and as we move forward, needing electricians and needing electricians and helpers and things of that nature in the electrical field. And so if they're willing to reach out and make that happen, I think that will help a lot of people as they get that training to put that on a resume and move forward, even maybe to get a full-time job either with them or with another person. So anyway, thank you so much once again, Art and the whole committee, for what you guys have done and bringing this to the table today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Parker. I'm glad we've got your committee up and running, and so you all are doing some fantastic work. I really appreciate it along with the other committees. Any questions for Commissioner Parker or Mr. Walker about the Section 3?
High hopes or something.
All right. Well, we have reached the point. I don't believe we need to go into executive session for anything this evening. So we have reached the point for commissioners' comments. Is there anything else that any of the commissioners would like to bring before us this evening? All right. Well, thank you,
Mr. Hartman. I just have a comment for the meeting. I appreciate it, and I just want to say, while I'm new to the RRHA Commission, I'm not new to Richmond, and this is now my second meeting. And a common theme that's kind of been raised throughout our meetings is the activities and opportunities that we provide to our youth here in the city, and particularly in our public housing. I've served on a number of boards and worked with students in Fairfield and Mosby, so I understand the challenges that many of our young residents face. I just want to say that, well, my background is in kind of healthcare law, and I've committed to working with and have discussed how we can, with our CEO, Mr. Nesbitt, how we can expand primary care opportunities for our residents. I'm also committed to working with all of you on how we can provide better resources to our children and how we, as RHA, can really be a vehicle for that. So I think that's really important and a common theme that we've been hearing. And then lastly, I just want to say, with respect to the comments about the cameras, I think there were some great points raised, and I hope that we as RRHA work with RPD and whoever we need to make sure that this appropriation and this investment, we see the most value out of it. We make sure the placement's correct, and we do things in a way that make the investment worth it. So that's all I just wanted to say, and thank you.
Great. Well said. Thank you, Commissioner Elliott. Comment.
Chairman Harmon, I just wanted to say that for the next board meeting, I'll share with you all. I've had a nice conversation with Commissioner Elliott about an initiative around healthcare for our residents. That he's going to bring a partnership, a new partnership,
probably if I was the law,
to our efforts, and I'm going to announce that. Have him be a part of heading that up. It's in his area of expertise, and I'm going to be announcing that, and having him, the CEO, having him head that up, and that'll be something I'll talk with you about, and we'll tee that up for the next meeting. That's it.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Nesbitt. Anyone else have any?
Chair.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Johnson?
Yes, Mr. Nesbitt, in the news recently, Bon Secours has had a situation where they were trying to reach out and do an initiative because of some shortcomings that they feel that has been made in our community. So I would hope if you can reach out to them and see what resources we can bring from Bon Secours to help support those initiatives that you're proposing, because I think it's very important that we
but I'm trying to get some money out of Bon Secours. You feel me? And I don't want to have to
things that our young people face, and this might be an opportunity to acquire some additional resources.
I don't want to have to go through them. You know what I'm saying? Like because Bon Secours is looking at it like, oh well, Mosby's over here. We're going to go through the housing authority. You already know where the money going to go. You know what I'm saying?
Commissioner Elliott report on it. I'll have them include that as well.
You want them to be guarded.
That is specifically what this.
I just wanted to go into the community. Like, if you
give
me the
it's
money
about
for
looking
the
at
garden,
additional
we are
partners
doing
who
the
want
work
to provide
that Bon Secours
healthcare
does. You know
services to our public housing residents.
All of the work we're doing is addressing like mental health, physical health. You know what I'm saying? How people feel about their environment and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Like that's the whole purpose of the garden.
Any other comments this evening? All right, well, thank you all very much for your time and attention this evening. Thank you to the staff for all the work that goes into this. I know it's a lot of work that you all do, and the yeoman's job that you do on a daily basis to care for our residents. And
they did it as a block.
Our properties.
1 through 6, all together.
So without objection, we will stand adjourned.
Nobody.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Hey. Good night.
Hold on. Let me see. Can I come back on this? How does it go? What is this? How come? Hold on. Let me see. Can I be seen? How do I do this?
You log off the mute?
Hold on. Yeah, nah, I'm still on. I'm hold on. I'm still on. I'm trying to figure out how to. Oh, damn, tripping. You don't want to be on.
So nobody objected to the camera,
Nah,
right?
it was unanimous for the cameras. Yeah, nobody objected to anything. You know how that go. Nobody objected nothing.
But they didn't vote on changing the consent agenda protocol.
No, I don't even know. Like, I think.
That would be a full motion.
Yeah, like I don't even know how you would do that. I don't even understand how you do that. Like I don't know if you got to change. Maybe it's already in the bylaw. I don't know. Cause the lawyer was like, well, somebody. I think that was the lawyer. No, the lawyer's a woman. I know somebody was like, well, my understanding is you could get it off of the consent agenda. by emotion, which is true. But I don't know where they're getting that. Like, I didn't know that RRHA had that in their bylaw. You know what I'm saying? But it probably is. But yeah, I'm still on the live, right? I wonder if anybody saying anything. What's going on? What is this? Hold on, something just came across my phone. Hold on. How Richmond Police is using new technology to track down criminals. The license plate reader and a firearm testing could speed up. Firearm testing. It did unbiased investigator reader. License plate readers operated through software called Flock. Oh, there's a homeboy was just telling me about this over mode. They use their city issue cell phone. I didn't know they give cops cell phones. The department has investigated 36 flock cameras throughout the city. Anyway. Oh, hold on. Let me see if anybody commenting on this live. Is anybody commenting on my live? Because I stay on. Oh, never mind. Is it still on? I don't even know what the image screen.